You can think of paths as character classes in this game. If the person has a strong enough will, they can draw power from that path. Those who can do so are called path striders. Each path have its own aeon. Right now, there are only 7 path playable characters.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Characters with the Hunt's path itself are pretty similar to assassins in general. They can deal huge chunks of damage but are low on durability. This extraordinary single target damage is critical in battles. An example from this path is Seely. Seely is a 5-star character who uses a quantum element, a subpath of DPS character that emphasizes single target damage. Her special skill grants her a speed bonus for 2 turns, in addition to dealing strong single target damage scaled on her attack. Her ultimate, Butterfly Flurry, is a buff that increases her quantum damage. In addition, her passive, Resurgence, grants her an extra action when she defeats an enemy, favoring a strong advantage to the team.
You can fight it or rock with it.
Characters on the Erudition path focus on dealing AoE damage or area of effect damage, allowing them to quickly deal with whole waves of enemies. Example from this path is Surfle. Surfle is a 4-star lightning character who threads the path of erudition, meaning she's capable of dishing out powerful AoE damage and can apply lightning damage over time. Therefore, she's best suited to the role of secondary DPS and excels most when facing groups of multiple enemies. Her basic attack is the only single target part of her kit, and her skill Lightning Flash deals lightning damage to maximum 3 enemies. Her ultimate, Here Comes the Mechanical Fever, deals lightning damage to every enemy on the field while simultaneously extending the duration of any active shock effect.
To guard and defend, crush them.
Known as the offensive or utility support, characters on the Harmony path focusing on supporting their allies with various buffs. Example from this path is Bronya. Bronya is a support character who applies buffs and removes debuffs from her team. She deals very little damage herself, but her skills make her a valuable enabler, capable of pushing her allies through victory. As such, she's very flexible and can be an asset to most team compositions. Bronya's basic attack deals wind damage to a single enemy. Her skill, Combat Redeployment, dispels 1 debuff from an ally, allowing them to take action immediately. Her ultimate, the Bilobok March, increases the attack of all allies and their critical damage for 2 turns.
Netmark activate. Time for good old counterattack.
Known as the Debuffer, characters on the Nihility path focusing on weakening enemies with debuffs. Example from this path is Pela. Pela follows the path of Nihility and specializes in dealing ice damage, debuffing the defense stat of opponents to make life easier for her party. Pela's skill, Frostbite, deals ice damage based on her attack to a single enemy and removes 1 buff from the target. Her ultimate, Zone Suppression, dishes out ice damage to all opponents based on Pela's attack and inflicts the Exposed status effect on them. Exposed reduce the defense stat for 2 turns. Pela's passive, Data Collecting, helps you activate her ultimate as often as possible by restoring energy to her if an attack leaves an enemy debuffed.
Let me pay you back tenfold.
Known as a general DPS. Character on the Destruction path focusing on dealing damage, both single target and AoE. Example from this path is Arlan. Arlan is a lightning-wielding DPS with high damage and low survivability. He plays the role of a glass cannon in most scenarios. He specializes in taking down single targets, and his skill sees him sacrificing a portion of his health point or HP in order to deal more damage. His skill, Shackle Breaker, consumes Arlan HP to deal lightning damage equal to a single enemy. His ultimate, Frenzied Punishment, deals lightning damage to a single enemy and lightning damage to enemies close to it. His passive increases Arlan's damage to every percent of HP below his max HP.
Just a little something.
Known as healer, characters in the Abundance path are focusing on restoring allies' HP and keeping them alive. Example from this path is Natasha. Natasha is a character capable of healing her allies. Her main role is to support your party and make sure you can survive through tough battles. Natasha does have a pretty decent basic attack, but prioritizing using her skill Love, Heal, and Choose restore a single ally, and her ultimate Gift of Rebirth heals all allies. Her passive Innervation, when healing allies with HP percentage at 30% or lower, increases Natasha's outgoing healing.
Will forged in ice never falters.
Known as defensive support or tank, characters on the preservation path focusing on supporting their allies defensively, for example, by shielding them or be the tank of the team. Example from this path is Jeopard. Jeopard dishes out some great ice damage and has the ability to freeze enemies, but we believe he truly excels in a tank sub-DPS role. His ultimate offers an extremely strong shield to help his allies get out of all manner of sticky situations, and his passive allows him to hop back in the game for a last stand when he's struck with a killing blow. As such, he slips into just about any team that needs a little extra protection. In the simulated world, there is two Aeons with new path, the Remembrance and the Elation. So in the future, there might be a chance for characters with these two new paths.